Hello everyone, how are you all doing? So today's video is for the girls. Okay, let's talk about marriage. This is not particularly one of my favorite topics to talk about, but there comes a time when it is a conversation that needs to be heard, and today is such days where we need to have this conversation. Okay, apparently there's a lot of talk going on around about marriage is not an achievement. When should we get married? And I'm not even going to get into that. What I'm going to do in this video is to tell you 4 things that you should think about as a girl before you think about getting married. I'm not going to tell you the right age to get married because that's y'all's business. I'm not going to tell you the right person. I'm not going to tell you all those other things. What I'm going to do in this video is to have a conversation about you and where you sit in that whole equation, about you, marriage, destiny. Where do you sit? What 4 things should you focus on? What 4 things should you consider as a girl before you think of getting married and settling down? Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Petronella Mnenja. I'm an author, I'm a consultant, I'm a speaker. I have an amazing book called From Gawker to Oxford, The Girl Who Dared to Dream. It's available on Amazon. Please do get a copy. And if you're in Zimbabwe, hit me up and I can have a copy delivered to you wherever you are. So let's get into today's video. What is the first thing that you should think about as a girl before you think about getting married? The first thing that I would say is find out who you are. Okay, find out who you are. Find out what you stand for. Find out your purpose, find out your dreams, your goals, your visions, your aspirations as an individual before you bring another person into the mix. Because what usually happens, I don't know if you noticed this, but I have friends who are in their 30s and I have friends who are in their 20s. And one thing that I noticed is almost all of my friends who got married soon after college, soon after university, 10 years down the line, they grow, they evolve, they discover who they are, and they realize that the person that they are with is not particularly the person that serves their goals. There's not particularly a person that uplifts them, that excites them, that is aligned with who they want to become. And they either settle and become miserable for the rest of their lives, or they get a divorce. So before you think about, oh, should I get married, is marriage an achievement, is whatever, before you even think about all that, have an honest conversation with yourself. Who are you? Who are you? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What excites you? What are your hopes? What are your aspirations? What do you want to see out of life? What don't you see out of life? What do you fancy? What do you see in 5 years? What does your career projection look like? What does your business projection look like? What is your plan for the future? What excites you? What is your purpose? What is your goal? When you close your eyes and think about the future 10 years, what future do you see for yourself as a person? Because here's the thing, if you're a person who is particularly ambitious, who's outgoing, if you whatever, and you marry a person who is comfortable and wants to settle at wherever stage they are, what's going to happen is 10 years down the line, you will be so excited to grow and do all these things. And this person next to you won't even see anything wrong with your life. And they will just think that you're being high maintenance, or you're just reaching for the stars, or doing whatever, I don't know. So before you even think about, oh, should I get married? What is the right age? Focus on you. Who are you? What do you stand for? What is the mission statement of your life? When you look for a husband, because what happens is when you know who you are and what you don't want, it's easy to screen. You don't just date anyone. You don't just give everyone access. You don't just go on dates with everyone else. You know who you are. You know what you want. And ergo, it follows that you will screen people accordingly. You will actually know, okay, when a person talks to you, can I pursue this further or not? You don't waste people's time, and people don't waste your time because you know. So that's the first thing. Before you think about all of it, discover your purpose. And if you don't know how to do that, I have a video on discovering your purpose. I will attach a link and you can go and watch it. And it's just 3 simple steps of finding out who you are and what you stand for. And when you do that, when you start making tiny steps and tiny goals, you realize that you will gravitate towards people who feed your soul. You gravitate towards people who want you to grow, who excite you, who speak to your passion. And those are the kind of people that you need in your life. Okay. And the second thing is, allow yourself to grow so that you can judge people better. And when I say allow yourself to grow as a girl, I'm not talking about age. Okay, listen to me and listen to me good. Remember what I said when I started this video. I'm not here to tell anyone what age to get married. I'm not here to tell anyone who to get married to. This conversation is about you as a girl, what you should consider before you get married. And the second thing is allow yourself to grow so that you judge people better. Let me give you an example of what I mean by this. When I was at university a few years back, when I was just an undergrad, I was just starting out. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know where I was going to end up 5 years later. I didn't know. And I was meeting people. I remember I would meet people and someone would be driving a nice car or someone would be doing these things and they will excite you. You find them enticing because, oh my God, they have a nice. The point is, there are people that I thought were so impressive, so amazing, that in retrospect, I'm thinking, oh my God, I made the right decision by not giving that person a chance, because if I had given that person a chance, my life would have turned out so differently to what it is now. So allow yourself to grow. What happens is when you allow yourself to grow, you judge people better. You won't judge someone because they have a nice car or because they have a nice apartment, because you realize that you are 23, you are in your final year at university. This person is 29, this person is 30. They have been working, they have a car and an apartment. That's a natural progression of life. That's not something that's inspirational or out of this world. Having an apartment and getting a car when you start working is a natural progression. So when you allow yourself to grow, when you allow yourself to judge people better and hold people accountable, you will realize that what impresses you about people is the things that matter. What you realize that, okay, I've actually grown, I have actually given myself time, I've actually find out what I am, what I want, and is this the man that I want in my life? You see beyond the flashy, you see beyond the money, the car, whatever. You see the things that matter. What is his relationship with God? If that is important to you, is he a person of integrity? Is he a person who keeps his word? Does his words match his actions? Does he respect me? Is he kind to me? Does he extend grace? Is he gracious towards me? Is he generous? Is he kind to his family, to his friends? When you grow, when you give yourself time to actually see people for what they are, you will realize that the number of people that impresses you slightly reduces, and the people that you considered impressive are not so impressive. You were just young. Come on, you were 23, they're 33. In 10 years time, you'll be exactly where they are now. Is that enough? Is that adequate? So just think about those things as you make the decisions to get married or not to get married. And the third thing is, this is slightly linked to the second one, but a bit different. Be financially stable. Okay, focus on being financially stable. And let me qualify this. Financial stability means different things for different people. Okay, so someone can have a lifestyle where they live off of $2,000 a month, and that's financially stable for them. Someone can have a lifestyle where they live off of $5,000 a month, and that's financially stable for them. And on the other hand, someone can have a life where they live off of $500 a month and they're financially stable. Someone could live off of $100, $50, $30, and they're financially stable. Financial stability has more to do with you as a person and where you are at than with the next person. So don't look at what financial stability means to me and extend that to you. And by extension, I don't look at what financial stability means to you and extend it to me, because it's different for different people. So when I say become financially stable, I just mean that be at a place where you can actually get the basics. If you feel like having a pizza, can you get a pizza for yourself? If you feel like having a new hairdo, can you do it for yourself? If you need pads, if you need airtime, whatever it is that you need, are you in a position where you can do that for yourself? If the answer is yes, then that's financial stability for your stage, for that stage in your life. And this is important because if you are not financially stable, if you're bargaining from a position of being broke, if you're bargaining from a position of being desperate, it's easy for someone to take advantage of you, because the hand that feeds is the hand that controls, which is why it's very, very dangerous to have your financial life be tied to a particular person. So before you think about getting married or not getting married, are you financially stable? Whatever that means for you. Can you take care of you outside of this person? Outside of this person, can you take care of yourself? Can you take care of your basic needs? Are you content? If this person disrespects you, are you able to say, okay, I'm walking away because I don't deserve this? Or you're going to stick around because you don't have money to go back home? Or you're going to stick around because they are paying the rent for your apartment? Or you're going to stick around because they bought those nice shoes? Why are you sticking around? Why are you putting up with the disrespect? So many people put up with the disrespect because they don't have alternatives. If that person breaks up with them, they don't know what they're going to do. So, which is why I'm saying be financially stable and grow. Even if you're not where you want to be, have a financial plan in place. And this just feeds off of everything that we've talked about. Okay, so you've discovered your purpose, you've grown. You may not be financially stable, but if you know who you want to be, if you know what you're working towards, you can have clear steps of what your financial stability is going to look like. You can have clear steps of where you're going to get the money. You're going to sell sweets, you're going to sell makeup, you're going to sell fruits, you're going to sell vegetables. I don't know, whatever it is that you're going to do. So at the very least, if you don't have the financial stability where you can afford to take care of yourself, have a financial plan, know what you want to do, and stuff like that. And the fourth thing that I want you to think about and consider before you get married is, don't empty yourself to complete people. What I mean by this is that so many people, we are not true to who we are. We become the person that the person we are with wants us to be. So we don't speak our mind often. We don't because we want to get married. There are so many videos out there that teach you how to get the ring, how to get him to commit, how to get you to engage. And at the end of the day, you alter your personality so much so that this person falls in love with the mirage. This person falls in love with the facade of what you're pretending to be. This person falls in love with who you want to be. This person falls in love with the idea of you, not necessarily you. So you don't share your mind, you don't speak up, because the girl in that video says that if you want him to give you the ring, don't speak back at him. So we end up becoming these people that we are not. So we become overly nice, overly attentive, we don't speak back. We literally alter everything about us. We literally alter everything that we are. We empty ourselves to fill the next person. And this person gets excited and happy, thinking that they found the person that they want, not knowing that it's you securing the ring. And when you then get married, it just opens a whole can of worms. It's a Pandora in there. Like you can't then start speaking out, because you'll be like, this is not the woman that I married. But you both know that that's actually the woman he married, but you couldn't be that woman because it's not cool. You couldn't be that woman because you wanted him to accept you. So we end up sacrificing our dignity, our personalities, our characters at the altar of men's acceptance. We end up going out of our ways, putting up with things that we wouldn't put up with, that quite frankly we shouldn't put up with, because we want to get the ring. So we end up sacrificing everything at the altar of acceptance, at the altar of getting a relationship, and we empty ourselves in the process. And don't ever do that. So before you actually decide to get married, are you being truthful? Is that the real you? Are you free to say what you think? Are you free to communicate your thoughts, your expectations, your fears, to play out when you're vulnerable? Are you free to be vulnerable and feel safe? Are you free to cry, to yell, to do whatever in this person's presence? If you can't do any of those things because you have to maintain this image, because you've maintained this, then that means that it might not be that the right thing for you. Okay, so as I conclude this video, I'm just going to summarize by saying that my intention wasn't to tell you when to get married. My intention wasn't to tell you who to get married to. Because if you do all the things that I have told you to do, if you practice all the things that we have talked about, it will naturally become clear who you were supposed to be with. It will naturally become clear what age you should get married at. If you follow what I've been talking about, if you actually practice it, if you take time to find your purpose, discover who you are, what excites you, you realize that affects the kind of men you attract. If you give yourself time to grow, you realize that you attract men who have grown as well. If you actually become financially stable, whatever that means for you, you will realize that you attract people that are actually working on financial independence as well. If you stop emptying yourself to complete the next person, you will realize that you will meet someone who is equally genuine, who wants to build just as much as you do. So I'm not going to prescribe the age, the time, whatever. I just want you to focus on yourself. Stop making, I'm not going to sit here and say marriage is not an achievement, because quite frankly, that statement is just problematic. You know, like, why are you making an achievement and stuff like that? It's a big part of life in its own right. Not necessarily an achievement or whatever. What I want for you is for you to have honest conversations about yourself. If marriage is what you truly desire, if that's what you want for yourself, then I want you to stop and have honest conversations with yourself and figure out these things that we have talked about. And hopefully it helps you know and figure out the right time for you to get married, and also identify what the right person looks like. Okay, it's been amazing talking to you guys. As always, share your thoughts, your comments, and everything else in the comments, and see you next week.